Good night, people. Good night, everyone. Welcome to another live. Welcome to another Sports Frenzzyy live show. Tonight we have a very interesting program, and as always, tonight's show is brought to you by Let's Care Medical. Visit them at shop number 5, Juicy Plaza. Remember that they do home visit. Please go and check them out. And don't know the CEO himself, Shakes is in the building. And tonight we
Big
have
up, big up, big up.
as always, we have Jason, our resident analyst here, Demo, another residential analyst, and Shakes, another residential analyst. But tonight, we have a special guest with us. The man that they call the NFL guru. Man, I try to downplay the man saying he's no guru, but
Jesus.
I understand it. And this man is a fitness mogul. Demo really want to get up to this man's standard. But
I'm
no
just
other
glad that
than
he's wearing sleeves tonight.
we have no other than the great man himself, Wally West, in the building to
In
talk
the
some
building,
NFL
in the
sports. And as you
building.
all can see, he's an Arsenal fan. Welcome, boss. Welcome on board for the
Yes,
first
yes,
time.
yes. Welcome on. Demo, wearing sleeves, wearing sleeves. But
I'm happy to see that, boss.
all
Happy
right.
to see that.
But guys, we have an interesting show lineup tonight. We'll be discussing some NFL action. You know that Super Bowl will be this coming Sunday, so we brought in the NFL man himself. And Shakes knows the sport as well, so Shakes will chip in. Man like Demon now is totally lost when it comes down to NFL, but
Mega
we'll get to
cheerlead.
that. We'll get to that, and we'll be discussing some cricket and also some football, but that's for later down the show. So we're going to start it off with the NFL. And Sawali, big matchup coming this Sunday. The man that is slated to take over the reins from the king himself, Patrick Mahomes versus Tom Brady. The Kansas City Chiefs versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What an interesting matchup, boss.
Yeah, man, definitely, definitely. It is definitely an interesting matchup. The sad thing though is that Mr. Force legacy, Aaron Rodgers, he didn't hold up his end of the bargain. Because really wanted that box office showdown with
Yeah.
Mahomes and and Rodgers. But
Rogers.
hold on, one minute, 1 minute. Yes.
All right, so Shakes, look at this match that will take place, right? This fixture, this Super Bowl. How you see it going? Because there's a lot of intricacies when it comes on to NFL, and there's a lot of fans out there that doesn't like the sport because of the stop and start, and an NFL match will last for hours upon hours, and that tends to drive a lot of fans mad. So with all that being said, Shakes, how do you see this one going, and what are the little things, the little details that we need to look at for whichever team to actually win this game?
Listen, NFL, yeah, a lot of persons because they're not used to it as a Jamaican, quote unquote. Um, they don't really understand that NFL can actually be a great tactical battle, right? Just like the NBA, where you can have teams shooting, scoring, but at some point you need to defend. It's the same thing with NFL, right? You can have a runaway game, but then you can have a great match where it's all about defense, right? For the match that is coming up, for me, I want Mahomes to win, right? It's the young goat, the up and coming goat versus the goat. Wally was trying to say something about Aaron Rodgers, um, and Mahomes, probably because some people consider Aaron Rodgers as the most talented quarterback in the history of the game, right? However, he has lost too many championship games, right? Preventing him from reaching to more than one Super Bowl. Because yes, he has one Super Bowl, but that's it. Right? For me, you can't be in the greatest of all time conversation if you haven't really achieved. So I don't know where Wally was going with that about Mr. Rogers. Right? They got rid of Drew Brees, they got rid of Aaron Rodgers. So listen, it's the matchup that everybody wants to see. Tom Brady versus Patrick
Patrick
Mahomes,
Mahomes.
right? It is the young stud that has ended up being in the playoffs 3 seasons now, and he has only lost one match, And that match was 2 years ago, as in the playoffs, to Tom Brady's team, the previous team, Patriots, right? In that championship game. So it's basically a rematch, right? So yes, even though Tom Brady might be older, but if you realize around him they have a great defensive unit. Yes, I mean they play on separate teams, just the makeup of the NFL. But if you're not scoring, you need your defense to stand up and prevent that team from actually scoring a touchdown or getting your quarterback through some interception or something like that back onto the field. But as I said, it's a great matchup. For me, Tampa. Listen, for Tampa to win, it won't be about Tom Brady. It would have to be about Buccaneers defense because that is what has carried them through those two previous games into the Super Bowl finals. Brady, listen, he's old. So I think a lot of persons might have expected him to throw some Hollywood passes, make some like great touchdown passes. But if you realize they haven't really made many, it's their defense. Same thing I expect on Sunday. It will have to be about Tampa's defense if they truly want to win the game. However, despite their good defense, I just believe that Patrick Mahomes is just too talented. Right now, nobody is close to him.
Shakes, you're going in and out.
Yeah, sorry, I'm saying nobody is close to him in terms of his skill or his talent, right? And I believe that Kansas have a good team, a well-rounded team. They have wide receivers that quick as hell, right? Tyreek Hill and Kelsey, those two guys. And if you realize, at times when they're being bogged down, they come up with some special plays for
So
their
Shakes,
teams.
Shakes, hold on a second. Here's Andre Chelsea agreeing with you that Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelsey makes Chiefs the favorites.
Yeah,
But
listen,
Shakes, with you saying all
yeah,
that though, I'm looking at the head-to-head stats, right? And Tampa Bay, they have faced each other 7 times. Tampa Bay has won 7 times. Kansas only once.
yeah, but that they didn't win. They didn't beat them in the regular season. It was actually
Oh,
Kansas that won.
yeah, 27
Yeah,
to 24.
Kansas win.
Yeah, Kansas won that game. But listen, you see head to head, as in previous matches, go out the window when it comes to a Super Bowl, right? Because it's just how you perform on the day. So as Andre Chelsea said, it's all about the receivers. So if they are on their game, and Mahomes, we know that he had that toe injury, but they obviously would have lined his boot to guard for that injury. And I believe that the fact that he got 2 weeks rest is gonna be ideal because even in that championship match, you could still see where he wasn't 100% in terms of his movement. Extra rest, I believe that he'll be ready. I know that everybody or most people who are Tom Brady fans, they are expecting them to win or a close game. But listen, I believe it's gonna be a blowout. Kansas to win, Kansas to win by about 15 points,
Wow.
right? Yes,
Whoa.
I am willing to stick my neck on the block. Kansas to win
Wow.
by 15
Bold.
points or more,
Lego the
right?
guru. Lego the guru now, man.
Look at the
Bold.
hashtag. Mahomes, GOAT in the making.
Bold.
Okay.
Listen,
So
he
Wally.
would, he would become the youngest quarterback to have as many championships, right?
All right.
God,
So,
So
so, so it's
Wally.
a
No.
very important match for him.
So now we're bringing you Wally. What's your take on the match itself? And do you think the cornerback and the linebackers for Tampa Bay Buccaneers can actually stop the wide receivers of Kansas City Chiefs?
Right. So I'm definitely going to address that question, but I have to comment on that absolutely absurd proclamation by Shakes. They start COVID vaccine trial at this party. What's going on? No, that is that's absolutely ludicrous. So, all right, so let's get into it. So let's talk about the defense. So you asked a question, Levon. And I said absolutely, because the first matchup, right? It's not about stopping Patrick Mahomes or Tyreek Hill or Travis Kelce, right? What is critical happens in the red zone. No, the first matchup, team had over 200 yards in the first quarter, or the first and second quarter, if I remember correctly. Patrick Mahomes threw for 402 yards, almost 500 yards. And what was the final score of the game, right? They only scored 27 points. And what was the point differential? 3 points.
3.
All of 3 points. So with those monster stats I had, it didn't translate into field goals. That is why the TB that we need to focus on is not Tom Brady, but Tom Bowles, the defensive coordinator. Now, I just want to get into some stats here. No, they just doing the research. They have some advanced metrics, right? They talk about the pass rush win rate as well as the run stop win rate. So these are defensive metrics that really it speaks to, in terms of pass, the ability to the quarterback, right? And the ranking for pass rush win rate for Tampa Bay, they are number 4 out of 32. In terms of the run stop win rate, Tampa Bay is number 2. Now, the run stop win rate applicable because Kansas City, they don't run the ball a lot. But what it really says is, in no uncertain terms, that the defense of Tampa Bay is very superior, except down in the red zone. So if you go back to the game that they had, game finished 27-24, right? With all of those monster numbers from Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, weren't able to translate that into the end zone. And the Tampa Bay has excellent red zone defense. No, just to put that into context, how phenomenal Tampa Bay defense has been playing. They said that Patrick Mahomes is Aaron Rodgers 2.0 because their ability to ad-lib, which is when they come out of the pocket to still be able to make plays. They can also sit in the pocket. If they get time in the pocket, they can also pick apart because of the passing accuracy as well as the ability to throw the deep ball. So they can also use their legs. So they are triple threat. So it makes them extremely hard to defend against. So they also have some advanced metrics, which speaks to the pass block win rate as well as the run block win rate. So this really speaks to the ability of the offensive line to hold the pocket to allow the quarterback time to pass, which is the pass block win rate. And then in terms of the running plays, the ability of the offensive line to hold their shape to allow the running back to Packers, right? They had the no one block win rate.
Well, you're kind of breaking up.
For the league. You hear me now? Hear me now?
Yeah, man, better.
Right. So which means that for the entire league, the Green Bay Packers, the offensive line showed ability to be able to give Aaron Rodgers the time to throw the ball. And guess what happened in that game against Tampa Bay? Aaron Rodgers in the red zone, they were only able to convert 2. They went into the red zone on 4 occasions. They were only convert twice. Aaron sacked 5 times, and he 22 most ever in his playoff career. So this really underscores on how underrated Tampa Bay defense is, and two, just the fact that they're really not getting their due because of how exceptional they've been playing. So if they are able to do that to Aaron Rodgers, right now, when you look at Kansas City is lower down in terms of the pass block win rate, where they're number 6. They're actually lower down than the Saints. Two teams which the Buccaneer defense faced and was able to overcome. So when Shakes is saying that it's the bare boat, it is absolutely unfounded. Absolutely. So the defense is definitely going to be on par. And then now, when you look at the offensive side of the ball, you see that Tampa Bay is one of the few teams has the firepower that can go toe to toe with the Chiefs. Additionally, what is critical is that people are commenting on the fact that Tom Brady, he's just a game manager, and as he should be, he's 43 years of age. But what matters is that he delivers when it counts. On the previous, right, Tom Brady was giving drives, right? They call Tom Brady the 2-minute king, right? So when it comes down to the wire, he is able to time and time run and be able to execute when it counts. So he doesn't need to match Patrick stride for stride. If it throws 400 yards, he needs to throw 400 yards. What is critical is
I do get where you're getting at,
into points.
All right, what I realize is that you and Wanan is leaning towards Tom Brady, but you don't want to come right out and say it, while Shakes on the other and just cut to the chase and say Patrick Mahomes will win. My question to you though is that with the match being played in Tampa, do you expect that to give Tampa Buccaneers any sort of advantage?
No, because one of the things that I found absolutely remarkable about Patrick Mahomes is his ability to remain poised. They showed some incredible stats on him the other day, where he was able to overcome some significant deficits both at home and on the road. So really and truly, the environment that he's in is really inconsequential as it relates to his ability to perform. So it is neither here nor there. And of course, Tom Brady, the veteran, I think it will be good for the first timers from the Buccaneers who will be there, to kind of feed off that. I'm not sure with the COVID protocol how many fans will actually be allowed at venue. I haven't seen any figures on that yet, but the home fans will definitely assist the first timers from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That if there is a case where maybe they go behind by early, they can kind of feed off the crowd. But with the floor general Tom Brady, who has been done that, I think he will be able to steady any nerves that would be associated with them being there for the first time. But all in all, based on the price of Patrick, I really don't see it having a consequential effect.
But all right, Wally, you just mentioned one thing, right? I'm going to use your own point and counteract it. You've just stated that with Tom Brady being there, done that. Remember, you just pointed out that Mahomes on the other hand, he has won a Super Bowl, right? So he has been there, and you also pointed out that the deficit that he has made up in some matches, either at home or away, has proven that how tough this man's mental fortitude is. So I don't think he will be overshadowed any at all playing the greatest of all time in this matchup. So on one hand, I can get what Shakes is saying, but the only thing is that I don't agree with him when he says it's going to be a blowout. That's the part that I'm looking at. But if you look at it still, he might have some merit to his argument because even the match against Packers, if you actually notice, I think it was either the third or the fourth quarter, you actually notice that Packers started to come back into the match itself when they actually thought that Tampa Bay would have run away with it. And
So
is it a
third
case?
and fourth quarter.
Is it a case that you could probably say that because of, as Shakes would say, old Brady is now the brain tends to go in the third or fourth quarter. Would that be a case?
No, man, not at all. They remember, you stars are stars, and the star will shine. And so you don't expect somebody who of the caliber of Aaron Rodgers to you have a significant deficit, and that deficit will remain throughout the entirety of the game because he's just that good. But when it underscores is the fact that one, as good as great as he was not able to, although he was able to narrow the gap, he wasn't able to overcome the deficit. And again, it speaks to how good the defense is. Now, he until the defense in the red zone by the Buccaneers. They threw 3 interceptions, and and Aaron Rodgers was able to score any touchdowns from those 3 interceptions. Again, scoring how impressive that defense is. So really and true, it is I give this edge to, I mean, everybody is saying Mahomes because of the talent, but I think and if anybody who says Mahomes and the Chiefs will win, I'm not going to say it is a whale prediction. It's reasonable, it's rational. Can't complain with that. But I believe that based on the wealth of experience of Tom Brady, as well as the fantastic defense of Pioneers, I think that will give them the edge because really and truly the Kansas City Chiefs, their defense really has come to the party. It has not come to the party. So in terms of firepower, you could almost say with the into Chiefs because of the talent of Patrick Mahomes, but then kind of offset by the significant gap between the defense of the Buccaneers and the Kansas.
All right, Wally, I see that Shakes is
They
ready
did
to
to
go.
Aaron.
Yeah, because that was a point that I was about to ask Wally about, right? Why does everybody underrate the Kansas City Chiefs defense? If you realize Josh Allen, he could not throw that ball. He literally had to run in that game. Why did he have to run so many times, Wally? Tell me. Why he had to run
No,
so
well,
many
I
times?
mean, no man, that's a very easy question to answer. Remember, the only for the Bills, the only outlet the Bills have where offense is concerned is Stephon Diggs. The bulk of his you can literally see between the previous season and this season how Josh Allen's passing completion skyrocketed, how his yards skyrocketed, throws over 20 yards, and all of that is due to Stephon Diggs. They don't have much else in terms of offense, and what the Chiefs did, they doubled Stephon Diggs for the whole game, so he had nowhere to throw the ball. He had
Second
nowhere to throw the
question.
ball, right?
Second question. How would you compare the Packers defense to the Chiefs defense? Which one is better? So you just said something, right? About what Josh Allen could not do. So
Yes.
this was my follow-up question.
Right.
Which defense is
But
better?
really, who has, well, it's kind of hard to
Come on, Wally. Stop sitting on the
compare
fence,
because
man.
Wale, hold on a
Stop
sec.
sitting
Hold on
on
a
no,
sec.
the fence.
I'm
You see over
not
on
sitting
Sports
on the
Frenzy.
fence.
Hold on, Wally. You see over here on Sports Frenzy live show, we're not afraid
Yes,
to make the ball
yes.
call. So just go ahead, cut to
Yeah,
the
man.
chase,
Just go
make the
ahead and
ball
say which
call.
one is better.
I would say the Packers defense is better. I would say Packers
It's
defense is
better.
better based on
Oh boy.
yes,
I see Tom Brady
based
all
on the
over your
fact that
face, man.
they what do you mean?
Based on
No,
what, Wally?
the thing
Based
is
on
that
what?
I am actually the thing is that for the whole evening I've actually substantiated my positions with data. You have failed to do
True,
so. You have
true.
failed to do so.
Hold on. You give me data and I ask
So
you one simple question and you sit on the fence for about a minute.
Alright,
Right?
so alright, hold on.
no,
You still can't tell me which
Alright,
defense.
hold on, Wally. Since as you just stated now, you have
yeah,
substantiated your point with statistics. Alright, so those
right.
statistics
Show
agree
that
with your
Packers
argument
defense is better
shows
than the
that
Chiefs.
Packers defense is actually better than that of Kansas City Chiefs.
All right. So remember the things that I showed you earlier in terms of the pass win rate as well as the stop win rate. All right, let me just give you those give
Quickly.
I think
all right.
Kansas defense is what,
So
10th in league
pass rush.
for defense.
All right, the page not loading. Give me a minute. So when I'll give you that data. But I was just
Yeah, man,
looking
but
at the fact
continue.
that
Yeah.
right, an offense that is as potent as Tampa Bay. You know, when you look at you really had one lapsing concentration where they gave up the touchdown just before the half. I think they were bound to contain that explosive, and you really haven't seen that. Sorry, you really haven't seen that with that opportunity to face offenses throughout the season.
Wally, last question, right? You've watched basically all the games this season, right?
Sorry, you hearing me?
Yeah, man. I was saying that you've watched all the games this season, if not
Hmm.
most, right? And based on what you've watched
By and large,
from yeah, so based on what you've watched, without looking at the stats, which defense you consider to be better? Packers or the Chiefs? Based on what you have watched, their production.
Wally freeze, man.
Yeah. Alright, but Shakes, we'll get back to that after a while, but
Yeah.
to be honest, I can see where Wally was going. Wally was basically pushing his
Listen,
argument to hard Tom Brady.
Wally is a Tom Brady diehard, right? You see the simple question, when I asked him about the defense, he literally didn't want to say that Kansas actually has a good defense. But as I said, you see, because Mahomes is so talented, nobody really looks at the defense and realize that, oh, but you know that they actually get stops. They actually prevent the quarterback from throwing balls into the end zone where
But
persons are going to get touchdowns.
alright, Shakes, also in a sense, right? Wally mentioned one thing. He said that Aaron Rodgers was coming back in that game against Buccaneers, right?
Yeah.
And eventually they run out of
Let me
steam.
tell you something. You see
However,
that?
hold on a second. Remember that Patrick Mahomes is known for comebacks. Because remember that is a lot of deficit he has cut down thus far in his career now. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at it from the standpoint and saying that, in my opinion, Patrick Mahomes is better than Aaron Rodgers currently, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I'm talking about currently. So if Aaron Rodgers was able to do that, right, with, to me, Chiefs with a better team, don't you think that they'll be able to overcome that? And then
It's not.
again,
I
would
think.
you
I
think,
know. I
do
know.
you think that they would have allowed Buccaneers to go that much ahead like they
No.
did against Packers?
But that's a
Point.
question that I'm asking Wally. If he really disregards the Kansas City Chiefs defense, because there's no way. Listen, you see, if you actually watch that game, it wasn't because of Tom Brady's brilliance why they actually went up that many points, right? It's just because Packers couldn't stop. He even talked about that touchdown that they basically got before halftime, as in just on halftime, right? That was a touchdown that caused them to win the game, you know. When they let the guy run in behind deep into the end zone, one throw behind, right? Where they basically call back on Tom Brady onto the field and say, you know what, go for it. It was like about 10 to 15 seconds left in the game for that halftime interval, right? But as I said, everybody underrating Kansas defense. But guess what? They're gonna surprise y'all. So when he says that I'm unfounded with my 15-point victory, you see, on Monday, get Wally back in the studio, right?
But me not see that shakes though. Me not see that.
What, you don't see the 15 points?
Me not see it.
Listen, you know how many balls Tom Brady had to throw into the ground against the Packers defense because he had no outlet to pass the ball to.
Mhm. Well, I mean, there's no doubting. There's no doubting because one thing I realize is that you are on Mahomes and Wally's on Tom Brady, so I want it to be this sort of a tiebreaker. And
All right, so Shakes, here's
Yeah.
one of our commenter, where Matt Bryan said it should be made Sunday. Ring number 7. Tell Patrick go look for SpongeBob. That was funny, but this is the comment that I should have brought up. Yes, Uriel Sawyer saying that Brady better than Mahomes. KC as the best defender. Honey Badger. Um, if they do have the better defender, we know that a team can have that better defender, yes, but in terms of defensive organization,
It's
you know
the
that that's
entire
the
line. Yeah, it's not solely about one man. Yeah, the one man aspect comes in with if you have a great wide receiver and if you also have a great quarterback, right? That is the one man standout for NFL. On defense is a team effort.
All right, so Wally, you're back in time. The man that asked the question, based on what you have seen of
All
both teams
season,
this season, all season long, which team
Packers versus the
is the
Chiefs.
better in terms of defense?
Between Kansas City and
Packers.
Kansas City and the Buccaneers.
Packers,
Kansas City and the Buccaneers.
correct. Based on what you have seen, without looking at any stat.
Man, internet gone, man.
Yeah, freeze up. Hello, you hear me?
Yeah, man, go ahead, man.
Him internet gone.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. May I hear you? Yes. All right, go again.
The Packers or the Chiefs, which one has the better defense based on what you have seen with your own two eyes? Remove stats out of this, since as it has taken this long to get it. So what you have seen, which team has the better defense?
Well, I would give the edge to the Chiefs. I would give the edge to the Chiefs.
Levon, brilliant. We can move on now. Excellent.
All right, so Wally, as I mentioned to you, around here we are bold and we are brave. Call the champion, the Super Bowl champion this year.
Yeah, man. We are going with match I got done 31-27.
So all right, your scoreline is 31-27.
31-27.
I'll go with the guru on this.
All right, so Shakes, what is your call?
Remember she is keep by 50, you know. So
No, man, but I need the definite scoreline, man.
she's 50 to box 30 something.
Seems like Shakes freeze now, man.
Shakes free.
We're gonna take turns.
All right, Jason, your call.
Well, according to the statistics, the most common scoreline predicted is actually 27-24 in any team's favor. And I think that Mahomes will actually be the Super Bowl winner again this time around. Um, the history shows that, I see you asked the question about teams playing in their own backyard, but history doesn't really favor teams in all sense of sports when it comes to a championship game playing in the backyard. Just ask Portugal against Greece, just ask Bayern against Chelsea at the Allianz Arena. So for a team that had that record last season was what, 7-9 in Tampa Bay. I mean, it is a feel-good story for Tom Brady to propel them to this level, to the Super Bowl. But Mahomes is looking to be the first quarterback since Brady himself to win back-to-back Super Bowl titles, and I think he will achieve that. So,
It's a demon. You're going with the guru.
Anything the guru say, that me say. Listen,
So
when the man attack, all my head goes to a spin. I have no clue what you were saying. But I heard some big words and it sounds fancy. So whatever Wally say, that's what I'm going with.
But
It's
Jason,
just too expansive.
but Jason, you're sticking with the scoreline as well, 27-24.
yeah, in favor of Mahomes, yeah.
All right. So my prediction is, I'll just sit down and watch a good game between my two favorite players.
No, you have to call it. You have to call it.
No, man, after you stick me up, you can't.
Yeah, you
All
have
right.
to
All
call it.
right. So my intake on this is that I love if Brady win, but guess what? They're owned by the Glazers, and then again, Glazers is going to take that money and pocket it. So for that reason, I want them to lose. So
Jokes.
hopefully, Mahomes can step up and deliver another Super Bowl. Sticking with Mahomes, but
So
respect to
only
Brady.
me and the guru have
man,
the goat.
we're not joining no wagon.
All right, sir. I am with you. I'm with you, sir.
But,
The guru make the prediction and the Arsenal close the door. So
But me not understand. What are relevance? What are relevance? Me not understand.
all right, since we have it here, Wally, and we're just going to jump out of this and go over into some football. So that was a roundup on the Super Bowl that is scheduled to take place this coming Sunday. Guys, ensure that you tune in to watch two of the best players to ever play the sport. The upcoming GOAT against the current GOAT. So ensure that you tune in and be here Monday to ensure that I'm gonna beat you in the comment section if you will get it wrong. But yeah, move over to some football. And
All right, me take a back seat, yes, sir. I'm the real gurus. Big up,
no man, don't think hold on, man. Don't think you're going to Wally, don't think you're going to come here and get away from your Arsenal team. Don't try that here, man.
No,
You must feel in for bones.
you know, run it up. What they are seeing we.
All
We're
right.
not gone now.
Doesn't it bother you that you have gotten this such amount of red cards since Arteta has taken over?
Well, it's not really. Arteta is just a coincidence. The spike in red cards really have to do with David Luiz. That is that is what it really. Now,
But with the current team that you have, would you say that you're actually happy with the team, or do you think that you need improvement in a lot of improvement? Because Bones, who is a residential analyst that who sadly can't make it tonight, he's of the view that Arsenal need at least 5 players. Do you agree with the notion?
all right. I can't say in terms of a number per se, but there is definitely a deficit there. We need some solid, at least one solid central defender. From Wenger's time until now, we still are susceptible to crosses. But for some reason, we can't seem to get a handle on that. From
I thought
Wenger
that was
time until
Gabriel.
go
Gabriel.
again.
I thought that was Gabriel, the defender we have.
Well, he hasn't been able to rectify that. So I think there is something. There's a definite deficit where that is concerned. Also, I have yet to see somebody who is able to replicate the sort of link up play from defensive midfield going into attack that we used to get from Santi Carzola. We're missing that sort of player desperately, right? We don't have that. We don't have that interplay.
I thought that's why
Um,
you guys got Party.
no man, he's more defensive. What we're looking for is somebody between that person, which is what Carzola did for us.
All
Partey
right, so Wally,
was
I'm going to
more
put you
like
Emil
on the
Smith
spot.
Rowe.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Is there any player that you see out there that you actually think can fill that void?
I can't think of any off the top of my head right now that is
Tell
available.
him
All right,
Levan.
there's a specific player that Shakes and I really like that you guys were
Let's
linked with him
Leon.
last season that we really don't want to come to Arsenal. His name is Osim Owa. That man, if that man drop in that Arsenal side, man, boy. But honestly, I don't want him come there still because I want him to come to my side. But if that man come into that Arsenal side, then you'll have that link up between all those players. So at the end of the day, I get what you're saying because all right, you got in a player by the name of Martin Odegaard. He can do it too. Decent player, not necessarily a centre mid, but in terms of link up play, is decent. Will he gel with this current Arsenal side? That's a big question
But
because
isn't that what Emil Smith Rowe is doing now? Since his
yeah,
emergence.
he's doing it, yes, but all right. The thing is that will Smith Rowe be able to play all the matches?
I
That's
mean, I
that's,
don't
that's the
see
key
why
thing.
not.
No, but all right. Look at it from this standpoint. They brought in back Ceballos because they thought Ceballos was that player to actually link the play. But where is he now?
Yeah,
Can't
him
even get game
really,
time.
yeah, him really fade. And then another thing too, I'm seeing a resurgence of Pepe, and I think the reason for that, as I say, one not did not dash way, but um, they I think the reason for that, especially when I reflect on the Manu game, yeah, right, Pepe excels when he gets the open land space to run at players. So I saw on umpteen occasions, the Partey was able to pass the ball and he was able to run on and create some havoc. So I think he needs that sort of service to get himself going. If he doesn't get that service early, him kind of get disinterested and just get missing out of the game.
Boy, you know that me as a fan, me happy that you're still suffering, but end of the
Listen,
day,
can I just add one thing?
quickly shakes.
So in FIFA, I'm playing on Arsenal won the EPL title in 2027. So hopefully by then, they would have accumulated of quality, and like Saka, Emil Smith Rowe, and some others would have grown up because really and truly, yes, you might not want to say they need 5 players because it's hard to go out and buy 5 players. So sometimes you actually have to build from your academy, take from your academy, right? And put them in the team, and then yes, he's right where you basically need a spine of players, right? So if you can get a good centre back, if you can get a midfielder that he's talking about in terms of the missing link, and then getting a good quality center forward, then you can build around that. Listen, that's all that can happen, especially because COVID is gonna affect football for 2 years in total minimum, right? So a lot of buying won't take place as what usually happens pre-COVID. So when you really think about it, a lot of these teams around the world, apart from the one players that might get transferred, they're just going to take some players from the academy. So it's really building for the future.
And then, as I mentioned a while ago, Shakes, you know that they actually have some top talents as well. But with one not getting game time, he's on the cusp of leaving. That's Balogun. It's in prospect that he'll be going to Leipzig. But if you look at Martinelli, Bukayo Saka, Smith Rowe, and the player
Turney.
that, but the player that has have me scratching my head a lot is Reece Nelson, because that man went over to Germany now and was some player for Hoffenheim. But since he came back to Arsenal, you know that since there I was keeping track of the under 23 matches because I had a ticket going on. But I checked Arsenal against Chelsea. Guess who I saw score? Reece Nelson. So I was like, under 23, the man gone.
At
But
that time level.
hopefully things will be up for you, Wally. But as for me, I hope you still stay in the same position. All right, so we're going to get into.
But
Go ahead.
just to one of the things I want to point to is it pains my heart to say this, but the resurgence of Manchester United.
Oh
And
Lord.
I was
Oh, God.
and I was seeing to one of my colleagues, the Liverpool support, you know, he was expressing frustration with Liverpool and saying that, boy, you know, if you know, because what he's saying is that Klopp is very stubborn. You know, he has one way to play, he doesn't really adapt, and if he is this like, you may have to look at you know, changing coaches. I'm gonna say to him, boy, you're really ungrateful, you know. And I said to him, one of the most important things in the success of any club is tenure. If you look at Ole, everybody was saying Ole out, and management stuck with him. And here he is now. If you always have the axe at your neck, you don't have the latitude to put together a system and create your own style. You're always going to have to try chop and change to show management that you're doing something, to show the fans that you're doing something, and you end up doing foolishness. And so all they know, they keep him, and Manu is reaping the fruits. So I think
Wally, I can tell you about one specific United fan that is still Ole out. His name is Shakes.
Ole
Shakes still
out.
say Ole out.
Because there is, you just talk about system. You're basically talking about a philosophy and an identity. Manchester United don't have any of that, boss. Manchester United have players that perform brilliantly on a day that gets us victories. That has happened all season, and that has been happening since COVID.
But I know that Shakes. I know that Jason will disagree with that, because even though Jason is not the biggest of Ole fan, Jason has pointed out on numerous occasions when Ole has actually done something well. So I'm sure he'll jot in and said that is not entirely true that you just mentioned.
Could never.
You see, even there's here a Manchester United fan asking what fruits has Manchester.
Ungrateful, you know, ungrateful, but.
But Wally, what I want to ask you since as you're here, we're going to do the preview to the matches that will take place tomorrow. You're playing against an Aston Villa team that is in form, even though they lost to a West Ham side that, wow, David Moyes, man. But you're playing Aston Villa tomorrow morning at 7:30. How you see that match going?
Right.
Man, take a deep breath.
Wow.
Wally, no like tough questions.
I just want to point out. Just want to point out to Wally say.
Demo. As the object.
All right, Jason, what are you going to say?
No, I just want to point out to Wally said the reverse fixture against Villa ended 3-0 to Villa. Villa have actually won the last two matches against Arsenal. So, I mean,
All right. As I mentioned to you now, Wally, you see around here, don't think that you can reach in a pure cut short bounce and so don't feel so you're gonna get to it. Arsenal taking on Aston Villa tomorrow. How do you see that one going?
All right. I don't have the current injury. Is Aubameyang available?
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Saka as well.
Should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if we're at full strength, we should be edgy 2-1.
Remember
I
that
actually, I,
Go ahead, Jason.
oh, no, may I say I actually see the other way. Remember, Wally, that Leno got a red against Wolves, so he won't be
Runarsson in goal
available.
or Matran? No,
And
is either
and
Runarsson or
and
Matran because Matran has been past fit.
and oh, Matt Ryan has been past fit because I thought he was Bones never knew him. So what you're asking now is Runners to probably start his first game for the entire season against a team that has averaged at least 15 shots
In the
on
Premier
target.
League, that is, he has started in Europa.
Yeah, in the Premier League, yeah. Against a team that has averaged 15 shots on target in Villa. So I think it actually be a 2-1 reverse with Villa to actually win.
Okay, but again, hopefully, Aston Villa had some more tears to Wally West and he keeps on crying because you know that anything of Arsenal side wouldn't like still. But let's move on. We'll see Burnley taking on Brighton, the two teams that has beaten Liverpool at home. The
Why
battles
that
of
did
the
necessary?
the
Why
battle
why
the battle of the beats. I have to rub in the salt, man. I want to hear the wound still not heal it. But Jason, how you see that one going?
For me, I think Burnley look tired. Burnley look tired. I know the last two matches were against Chelsea and Manchester City, but and they're not really the greatest side attacking wise. But I think the exertions of the previous weeks before that, when they had that run, when they beat Villa and they beat Fulham in the FA Cup and all of that, I really think that has taken a lot out of them. They're still trying to see how best they can pass Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes fit for this game. But I mean, something that came across to my attention was Brighton only lost like one match in January, and that was against Manchester City. So they have picked up form at a very crucial time. Graham Potter's men, and we've
And
all been here and
also point out, Jason, that the match that they had lost against Man City, had they had a striker that was on form, they would have beaten
yeah,
Man City because they created
yeah,
a lot of opportunities.
exactly. Brighton play very attractive football, and keep on. We've been here like from day one saying, Brighton's results need to match the performances. So I actually think that Brighton is going to edge this one. I know it's a turf more, but I think I'm looking for a 1-0 victory for Brighton in this one.
All right, next up we see a battle between two clubs that are currently on a bad patch of form, both desperately in need of a victory, one with a plethora of injuries. See Newcastle taking on Southampton. Demo.
Liverpool be facing Newcastle again. As you said, it's a really tough game, especially after the battering that Southampton took from Manchester United. Confidence shot, but with the acquisition of Minamino, I think that they'll have a little extra edge. I am Newcastle just seem to be falling off track. I mean, Callum Wilson, he scored a couple goals the other day, and he should be on confidence. But I don't see a winner in this game. I actually think that this game is going to end in a draw. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
All right. See next up we see Fulham taking on West Ham. West Ham who is on form right now. They're absolutely spunking it right now, playing some attractive football under David Moyes. Give that one to Jason again.
West Ham against who remind me?
Fulham.
Or Fulham. Why? Fulham has gone 11 matches now without a win. They're what, 8 points from safety now. I know they brought in a striker from Bordeaux, Josh
Average
Major.
player. Maya.
Yeah. He's going to want to hit the ground running, and Scott Parker is going to hope that he hits the ground running because Mitrovic has been extremely poor this season, all things considered. But I think West Ham's recent not recent resurgence. Their form overall take them through this game. I think will Lingard score again? I don't know, maybe, but but I think West Ham will actually edge this one, and I think it will be comfortable. So I'm looking at a 2-0 victory for West Ham.
All right. Next up, we see Man United taking on Everton at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Shifts.
Man United versus Everton. Man U needs to win that game. It's unfortunate that we're playing at home. I always prefer when Man U is away from home because I know that I'm very likely to get a victory. At home, boy, I did not necessarily go overboard with that 9-0 victory against Southampton. So guess what? I hope the players take some confidence from that game and let it pour over into the match at home versus Everton, right? Both teams to score. I'm gonna go with a 2-1. A 2-1 victory for Man U. Not because I'm a Man U fan, but we just need to improve at home, right? And the results need to come. Now would be a good time that Ole gets up and actually pays his dues, actually show that he can coach, try to basically outwit another coach at the end of the day, right? Because Everton, yes, they were in good form, then ended up in bad form. They've got a few victories of late, right? So it would be a good time for Ole to pick a good team, one, right? Make some tactical changes in the game, and I hope that he can come in with some good substitutions
All right.
throughout the game.
Shifts. I'm going to counter something that I just said. Ole has outwitted Ancelotti already.
Go
Just to
again?
make that clear.
Twice this season.
Okay.
Twice.
No, hold on. I know that Ole has beaten many of the coaches in the EPL since he has been manager,
But
right?
basically,
This,
that's
we're
However,
talking about this season.
however, it has not resulted in us winning anything.
All right, let's move on.
Beat them shit.
Tottenham taking on West Brom. Before we move on to we saw Tottenham losing yesterday. A match that we expected them to lose. They lost 1-0 to Chelsea. Jose parking about 3 double-decker buses, yet still ended up losing. And it begs you to ask the question that we already have the answer to. Is this a done coach?
He needs to
Because all
retire.
right, Tottenham started off the season, right? They garnered 20 points from their first 9 matches. Since then, they have gotten like what? Memory serve me correct, I think they have gotten like 12 or 13 from the next 13 fixtures.
Since they entered that game against Liverpool, top of the table, they have won 2 of their next 10 matches.
Awful form, man.
You're welcome.
It's typical Jose because all right, when he started on that running now, a lot of fans were saying, "Oh, Jose and the second season thing," and I said, "Brother, it was the same thing this man did with Man United. Started off the season by beating teams 4-0, 5-0, and even 5-1, and then as the season started to peter out, you just see
Drop
United
off.
keep on sliding. Typical Jose. Jose need to go hang up in both them now, man. Time up, brother, because he's very stubborn. You tend to set up defensive against these top teams, and
Ancelotti can still coach, why Jose can still coach? If Moyes can still coach, why still coach? I have a
repeat.
pedigree. I said if Moyes and Ancelotti still coaching, why Jose can still coach? Man have a
Because
pedigree.
all right, hold on. You have this man as this high pedestal coach, big top coach, and yet this man can't win nothing right now.
I mean, the season will finish.
Because all right, reason I mentioned that, you're telling me that watch now. Jose Mourinho is unable to function without Harry Kane, although Jose Mourinho has fight between 2 to 3 other strikers in that team.
Because he has no plan B.
Okay.
He only has a plan A. And if plan A goes out the window, which it has because the man have 2 bad ankles right now, right? So Harry Kane was 1A, Song Hyun-min was 1B, and that was it, right? If you realize, basically all their goals, it was a
Yeah, man.
combination,
Remember we pointed it out on the previous live,
right?
that
It was a combination from that long time when they were winning games. So you see, the moment one went down, that was it. Because it's not like you saw others chipping in with goals for them. It was just Song, Kane, Song, Kane. They just kept on altering, right? No,
Was it the previous?
while you were saying something.
Yeah, I'm saying, how was it different under the previous coach?
I was just gonna ask that.
hold on. No, it was different. You know why? Because Tottenham actually played better football under Pochettino,
Agreed upon, and Dele Alli was
right?
chipping with goals all
No,
around
but
as
I'm
well.
Exactly.
going to
So
use your hold on, no, but I'm going to use your
week
same
in, week
statement.
out, week in, week
Hold on.
out with Pochettino, it was never about Harry Kane and just Song Hyun-min.
It's always about Harry Kane.
But I'm
No,
going to ask.
It's
Hold on,
always
no.
about Harry Kane. We know that. But which team in the world that Harry Kane is in, it wouldn't be about Harry Kane. Harry Kane is a great striker.
But hold on, no, Shakes. I'm going to use your same statement that you used to beat Ole. And what did they win? And what did
At
they win?
least they got to the Champions
And
League
what
final.
did they win?
What did they win?
At least they got to the Champions League
I mean,
finals.
this was the same
That's a
man who benched. This was the same man who benched Lucas Moura for bringing on back Harry Kane after scoring a hat trick. Remember that?
Yeah, but
Hold
all
on.
right. At the end of the day, right? What Shakes is alluding to, and I kind of agree with him. Even though at times Harry Kane was missing, he still found a way to get other players scoring. As you pointed out, Lucas Moura with the hat trick. Right now, under Marina, no, who is scoring for him?
Lucas Moura is on the bench. He
Okay.
came off the bench in that game.
He brought in Carlos Vinicius, and even though he started him in the last match, only place that man get looking is either in Europa League or down in some cup competition, with Harry Kane being done injured. But we also got to discuss Chelsea, and they got another victory under their belt. Tuchel now unbeaten.
I don't think he conceded a goal either, right?
Hasn't conceded a goal. Mason Mount played brilliantly yesterday, even though Shakes beat him to scorn at times, but he was actually good yesterday. So Tuchel getting another victory, and Chelsea fans are happy once again. They're cheering on their team once again. Everybody's saying yes, they're back on track.
Wrap up the league.
But Timo Werner still misfiring, although he won the penalty. But Chelsea fans happy, and that's all that matters.
Listen, you say I can just say something about that Chelsea team. You see how they're playing; they just have more endeavor in the matches thus far versus when they were playing under Frank. So even for Werner, he's actually working harder. So yes, he has not scored, but he's actually working harder. You can actually see all the players working harder under this coach than they were with Frank Lampard.
All right, so back on track. Tottenham against West Brom, two teams that are desperately in need of a victory. Wally, call it.
Brom and
Tottenham and West Brom.
why? I think Jose will find a way to scrape on one love victory. Poor early and Parky, but
Okay, so let's point out that it's two very defensive coaches playing against each other tomorrow. Jose Mourinho against Sam Allardyce. Sam Allardyce, you have made some decent signing.
the who first score win.
So as I'm saying, they have made some decent signings, so hopefully they can come through. They have brought in Kushlo, decent player from Celta Vigo, and also Maitland-Niles. So hopefully they can do a job tomorrow and Sunday and beat Tottenham, because I just want Tottenham keep on sliding.
I agree.
Respect Romario, but we just have to speak the truth. Next up we see Wolves taking on Leicester. Wolves were desperate for a victory. They got one against Arsenal. Will it propel them to move on further?
Fraud victory. Lose them up, lose. Fraud victory.
Playing against a Leicester team that is absolutely brilliant on the road.
Leicester to win 4-1.
Jason, how you see this going?
I believe I saw preliminary reports that Vardy actually more than likely will return for this game.
Whoa.
If at least on the bench. And if that is actually the case, then even if it's somebody to come off the bench, that will stretch Wolves' defense. I think Arsenal should have put them to the sword in the last game, so it just goes to show that Wolves aren't as defensively sound as they were last season. Things are not the same with them, and I cannot see another outcome other than a Leicester win.
Okay, boss. The big match of the weekend is Liverpool taking on Man City at home. Demo.
Aye.
Ben
Um,
Davies.
yeah, so Liverpool has signed 2 centre backs, and reports are saying that uh, most of the starting team should be back. Allison should be back. Mane should be back, and one or both centre backs could start the game. Which for me, as everybody know, I don't want that because I want to see Nat Phillips play. But that's besides what I want. So, I think it's 18 years since Manchester City has won at Anfield. But right now, Anfield seems like everybody who want to break them record should just come at Anfield and play. And so it's not looking too positive for us facing Manchester City, who
Yeah,
are
well,
flying. They're not conceding goals. We hardly can score goals, and it's just looking like everything is pointing to a Manchester City win. Saying that though, there's been countless times when Liverpool have been on bad form and they come up against a big team in the top 6 and then they end up performing.
Ships
I'm
pointed it out on the previous live.
I'm actually not going to predict a winner in this game. I think it will end in a draw. And for this season, most of these big games and Super Sunday and all of this stuff end up in some team 0-0 and 1-1 and stuff like that. I'm expecting it because the first time I think we played against City, it ended 1-1, and it
1-1.
wasn't team per se, but it wasn't as
Although a penalty was missed in that match
yeah, De
by
Bruyne
Man
missed
City.
a penalty in that game, I remember. And Jota was playing in that game. They played all four, all four of the Fab Four in that game, and it wasn't as exciting. And then Manchester United versus City, there was a big hype, snore fest, stuff like that. So I'm not expecting a end-to-end flashy game because I think Klopp will be very cautious, not wanting to lose. And Manchester City can afford to lose, but I don't think that they will come
But
out attack.
alright, Dima, I'm going to stop you in a check right there.
Mm.
Have you noticed Pep Guardiola against the big teams this season? He has tended to gone very
Yes,
defensive.
yeah.
For I don't know what reason, but he tends to keep on playing defensive against his big team. So probably, as you said, it will maybe be a tame nil draw, but
Well, not nil all. I think there will be goals. I
well,
think it 1-1.
draw. But
Yeah.
alright, for me per se, being a Manchester United fan, I want you guys to win.
No, I know that's what you want because you think say in a title race. I don't understand.
never said it, we just wanted to win.
No, for we, I think a draw is a better outcome than a Liverpool win.
Yeah, so just expect I think
Jason,
Kabak to make his
how would that be the best outcome?
Eh?
How would that be the best outcome?
I mean, in the sense that the reason why I said that, I mean, I know City have been looking imperious and they've won how much in consecutive games in a row. So you'd want them to actually, especially considering that they would always have that game in hand stuff and whatever. But I just think that, on the other hand, as a United fan, you don't want Liverpool too close to you either.
No, man.
So-
Don't not think about the thing logically, because look at it from this standpoint, boss, man. Alright. Let's say, we're hypothetically speaking, So let's say United win their game against Everton. They'll go 7 points ahead of Liverpool, right? Liverpool beat Man City. Liverpool will still be 4 points behind Man United. Man United will be tied on points with Man City. Just creating a scenario for the United fans out there that actually think we're in a title
with
challenge,
a
right?
game in hand.
Yes, City have a game in hand. So let's say City win their game in hand. United also has to face City again. Hypothetically speaking, what if Man United beat Man City in that game? It will be a shootout till the end of the season between both teams. For those fans who believe that we're in a title challenge.
Listen, so here's my thing.
But hold on. So you're saying, Levon, that the more logical position to take is that you would want a Man City victory,
No,
that's what
Liverpool.
you
No, Liverpool victory.
a Liverpool victory.
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay,
yeah.
better than a draw. Because I'm looking at the points, the table now. Yeah.
That's where I'm coming from, Wally. That if United go ahead and win their game against Everton, they will go 7 points ahead. So if Liverpool win, the gap will still be 4 points. So they're saying it will be close and whatnot.
But
Remember that?
I kind of want to lean towards Jason because the safer bet would be for a Liverpool for the game to draw because if Man U lose, God forbid, I mean
Where I say
that
God forbid.
No, man. Remember that you're a Arsenal fan,
that
so
might
I
not be
God forbid, man.
possible. I mean,
Okay, the man say, God forbid, work with the man, man.
yeah, but it would be you would have a better opportunity. You would still have a cushion if the game draw. So City would still be in striking distance. If you don't lose, and you would still have a cushion above Liverpool.
No,
So
but
I
all
think
right, Wally. You're saying if we lose,
and
right? I put it out there that if they win tomorrow, remember that United is playing before the Liverpool match. So it's not a case
right.
as if that match will be played before our match. So I'm looking at it from standpoint and say, all right, if we win this, then we'd have got this and then that. That would be the best outcome. A draw now, and let's say City don't lose no more match for the rest of the season, right? Except for the match against United. Remember that I'm
I,
hypothetically speaking, City
me
will win the
just,
league
me,
by a point.
me,
If
me
both of them
just,
win, if both of them win all the games that remain of the season.
That
me,
will
me,
never
me,
happen.
But
me just
I
think that
don't.
Me just think that overall, you'd want as much of the teams that are around you to get as least points as possible. Because
That's why
right
you,
now,
that's why you need
right,
to
right
catch who
now,
is in front of you.
right now, in my
Yes,
estimation, City seem to be the only team that's sure and nailed on for finishing at top four. Because I don't think United is sure to finish top four right now.
So here's
No, hold on,
let me just finish.
shakes. All right, but finish up the email quickly.
Yeah, so my thing is, I was saying that City can afford to lose. I'm actually want to take that back because I don't think the fixtures that they have coming up after us, I think they have like 4 tough games, right? So I actually don't think that they can afford to lose with the chasing pack come. So we just want to retract that, and any result positive for City, I think is good for them. A draw or a win. So they'll play KG. And it seems like every time Pep and Klopp come together, Pep always try overthink things, and that's why I always flag him. Well, most of the time, but I'm expecting it to be a draw. So 1-1 for me.
All right, so next up we see Sheffield United taking on Chelsea. Sheffield United kind of get a little purple patch, taking a Chelsea side that hasn't lost under Tuchel. Shakes shaking his head because Chris Wilder is still in the job and will still be in the job come the end of the season. And with that being said, I'm going to give that exact match to Shakes.
Listen, you see the fact that Brighton won their last game, relegated Sheffield United, right? So for this game against Chelsea, I don't see any different result for Sheffield in terms of the outcome. Sheffield are going to lose a very comfortable victory for Chelsea. Chelsea to win 4-1 on the day, pretty easy, right? As I said, all these players trying to impress Tuchel, right, for the rest of the season. So I'm calling a 4-1 victory for them. Plus, they're playing for Chelsea. Plus, they're playing good football
All right,
since he
boss
has
man.
come in.
And the final match of the week of the weekend fixtures, we'll see Leeds taking on Crystal Palace on Monday. Two teams that has
Shoot.
been playing decent football. So, Jason.
Well, yeah. Palace was involved in a very open game with Newcastle over the weekend, and I think the last time these two sides met, I think Palace blanked Leeds 4-1. So I think this will be another shootout. It will be a game of two attacking teams looking to get the result. I think Leeds have been very hot and cold, and normally when Leeds lose one game, they normally tend to get a positive result in the next one. So yeah, I think.
Right.
So I think that Leeds will actually turn the scoreline around and Palace this time around, and actually give Palace 4-1.
All right, boss. Dimo, you agree with the scoreline?
No, I'm not gonna say 4-1. I actually think it's going to end closer than that. I'm gonna go 2-1 to Leeds.
So, Shakes, what do you say?
High scoring game, man. Right? Listen, you see Crystal Palace come out and play the same way they played against Newcastle,
They
and
won't.
Leeds just stick to their philosophy. It's simple: goals, goals, goals. This game is on what, Monday?
Yeah.
Yes. So you see, because there's gonna be a snooze fest on Sunday, the demo is right. Listen, there has never ever been a Super Sunday since COVID in the EPL. Every single big match, draw, right?
Or a
Or
secret.
some cagey matches, right?
The Chelsea Man City game was Sunday too, when City win 3-1.
Finish
That
up
was
Remember
quickly.
that.
Finish up quickly, Shakes, and give me
Yeah.
your scoreline.
But anyway, as I said, from the snooze fest on Sunday, we're going to want an exciting game on Monday. That will be Crystal Palace versus Leeds, right? Minimum 7 goals in that. Minimum.
Wow.
Carry
So,
that guy
so
just
listen,
bet.
if everybody going to just bet any bet, minimum 7 goals.
All right. Wally West, a scoreline quickly.
I agree with the Guru Demo, 2-1.
All
You're a
right.
wise man.
We're going to finish up this quickly and touch on the cricket quickly and get rid of it because, as expected, West Indies facing defeat in a sense. All right.
Yo, I
They
just
let, they
want to
let, they
respect.
let.
I just want to respect me not hang up right here.
No, but stay where you are, man. They can't just stay
Don't be
there.
like the past players. You need to rally around the West Indies.
But
West Indies
Mehdi
let me
Hassan,
cry.
Mehdi Hassan got a century, and as we were talking, that if they allow Bangladesh to get over 400 runs, it's problematic. West
Downhill.
Indies ended up making 259 with Craig Brathwaite making 70 before he was bowled by a peach of a delivery.
My skipper.
People are killing him, saying that he should have judged it better. However, he was blocking all those balls and he was leaving alone a lot of them until that ball turned a whole lot. So it was a very good delivery to get rid of him. Jermaine Blackwood once again getting a 50, and Calmeras played decently for his 40 and also
The silver.
the silver for his 42. So ended up making 259. West Indies had started off good in the second innings of Bangladesh by getting 2 wickets quickly. Rakim Karnwal.
Rock attack.
But Bangladesh has since then moved on to 47 for 3 with a lead of over 218 runs. So going into the fourth day, Shakes and Bones said the match wouldn't have lasted 3 days, but it's going to the fourth day. So let's see how this
No.
goes.
Remember, we
Dimo,
gave conditions.
well,
I
sorry.
had said 4 days. 4
If Bangladesh
days.
made 4,
Yeah, once they make 400, then it would be 4 days. West Indies just needed to make more than 250. They barely scraped past that. So it will actually go to 4 days. It won't reach to the 5th day though.
All right. So
all right, Dimo, quickly.
yeah. So let me just summarize everything and tell you why West Indies are still in this game. And people are already saying West Indies will lose. Nothing like that. We started out as poorly as they can. The first ball of the third day got Nkrumah Bana out, and it was a beauty, and he fell. But for me, the thing is, our batsmen, and it's for the whole series in Bangladesh, like only the 1 century was made, and by, as you mentioned earlier, and everybody keep getting stars. And for West Indies players, it seemed like 50 for them is 100. They raise the bat so proud when they make 50, and like, bro, you make 50, carry on, and so they need to change that mentality. And I thought we were just
Play cricket Demo.
Eh?
Anyway, continue.
Yeah, so we were just losing wickets at the wrong time, And so that partnership between the Silva and Blackwood was 99. 99, was that partnership. And then both of them fell in the space of 1 run. And we lost 5 wickets for 6 runs. And that is unacceptable. Now, everybody think that it was done and dusted then. But Raheem Cornwall came and gave us a brilliant start and took those 2 wickets in the first over in the 1 over, and he got Tammy Mickball and the guys who were making runs. So for me, that gave us a shout. But there was a ball that they should have referred for Raheem Cornwall for Raheem. It hit his glove and they caught it at short leg. And Blackwood tell the man, I hear 2 sound, I hear 2 sound. And bro, you have 3 referrals. Just take it. It's a big batsman. Take it. They didn't take it. Craig Batway didn't take the referral. And then when they go back, the thing beat the man gloves, hit the thing, and they caught it. And he was on ducks. So we should have literally had 4 wickets going into this day. And so for me, that would have tilted the game further in West Indies' favor. But I think it's still in the balance. I think the lead is now what?
218.
18. If we get up, because this pitch is starting to turn a lot more, and Warwickon and Jimbo, they're going to be doing the thing. And if we can get them out for like 300, the most, I think we have a chance. I mean, their spinners are going to do damage too, but I think that we'll have a chance. We won't lose the game. We won't lose. It will be a draw or a West Indies win. We will not lose this game. Take it from the expert.
All right, Chicks. Quick question. Have you seen the England against India series so far, day one?
No, not yet. I'm gonna
Boss
tune in
man,
to it tonight.
you'll see a master of sweep shots by Joe Root.
Well,
The man would kill Ravichandran Ashwin with sweep, brother, and also Sundar.
Yeah, well, that wasn't really a master from him, because if you actually watch the Sri Lanka series,
Yeah, man, I watched it, man.
he swept those bowlers like every single ball. He literally swept them away, right? So yeah, this was basically to a lesser extent against the Indians, but yes, it was a brilliant innings by him based on the highlights that I saw, right? But based on the number of sweeps that he did against Sri Lanka, definitely more than in this game.
Yeah, man, but he's currently 128 not out, and last year he only scored 2 centuries. This year alone, he has gone 3 already in January.
Machine.
So
yeah, because Joe Root realized that you see the other 3 batsmen, they were separating themselves from him, right? Because Joe Root has always been a batsman that he has the most tests out of all 4, right? Kohli, Kane, Williamson, Smith, and himself. He has obviously 100 now. So he's well ahead. However, his conversion rate is the worst out of all of them. So he has many 50s, but he does not go on and get the century, right? Really and truly, he should have had at least 25 centuries to be just around. I think Kane is on 24, and I think Smith and Kohli they're on 27 each, right? So he would be right around them. Plus, his average fell because he wasn't really converting, right? So he got some starts and that was it. So this series, plus they have the Ashes later this year. So I think that this year he's really trying to step it up, get as many centuries as possible, as I said, simply because he realized that the other batsmen well, they basically pull away from him. So he's just trying to step up and rein them back in.
And for those people that are interested in cricket, there's also South Africa playing Pakistan in a test match as well. So there's a lot of action to watch, man. So go out and watch the cricket, man.
Yeah.
That being said, we have come to the end of the live. It was once again one of the shows that we had a lot of diversity. First, it started off with NFL and the man that doesn't want to be called the guru, but we're going to call him the guru, Wally West. He was on board to discuss the NFL. He also touched on his team Arsenal.
No guru.
And then we ended by speaking about some cricket. Once again, thanks to our sponsor, Let's Care Medical. Visit them at shop number 5, Juicy Plaza. And remember, guys, they do home visits. So it's either you're going to them or they'll come to you. The sponsor is very much appreciated by us here at Sports Frenzzyy. And we just keep on looking forward to keep on growing on and getting more sponsors on board. And also thanks to the producer, Josh Carl, for making this possible. Thanks to Wally West for passing through for the first time. Boss man, don't let it be the last. Because we know that you
Bring
know
him back
football.
on Monday, man. Bring him
We
back on
know that you
Monday.
know
Definitely
football
not
as well.
done.
And we had our residential analyst, Jason, who had to leave for some reason. And Demo was once again here. Shakes was also once again here. We're looking forward to some action over the weekend. Hopefully, I see Liverpool winning. And for Demo now, Demo hope that he see West Indies win this test match.
10:30. Don't forget it. 10:30 tonight. Go watch Raheem Cornell, who now has 17 wickets from 4 test match. So leave the man alone.
All right, Jimbo boss. But thanks, guys, and thanks to our viewers.
And
Until next
grandson,
time.
grandson,
Yeah, man.
prayers up, you know, prayers up.
Yeah, man. Respect, man. Till next time, guys. Take care of yourself. Peace out.
Big up, Josh.